Yeah, I do think, like I mentioned before, I think it's been helpful that he has been the backup quarterback for 2 years and didn't approach it like that, really prepared as if he was a starter. He's a mature kid, he's a disciplined kid, he's a smart young man, comes from a real good family, strong parents, and he's prepared for this. He also is a guy that's been successful his entire athletic and academic career. He expects this. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you look at the quarterback we played last week. That was an older veteran guy, and he played like that. He looked like that. I think Trace is playing like a guy that probably is a second-year starter. Not necessarily just all his numbers and stats, but just his demeanor. It's really good. I think I think I mentioned this the other day. You look at Trace, you look at Saquon Barkley, you look at Garrett Sickles, you look at so many players. What I love about our team right now is whether things are going good or whether we're having challenges or whatever it is, you don't see the demeanor change. There's emotion, which is natural, but guys are handling that. Their body language is good, their demeanor is good, and that's important. That's important for the sideline. That's important for belief. That's important in everything. And I think he's like that in practice. He's like that in the games. He's like that, in his off-season workouts. There's a lot of belief in our team and Trace, and there has been for 2 years. I've been telling you guys that. When we would do twos versus ones and a 2-minute drill at the end of practice, and Trace was out there with the twos going against our one defense, he had demanded a lot of respect from a lot of guys for a long time. So, like I mentioned before, I think him and Tommy Stevens are two guys that we're excited about, and yeah, we've seen those things, but you never know truly until guys get into the game. Brandon Polk has not been available. He's had some off the field issues in terms of injuries that have kept him out. I probably shouldn't say off the field issues, but he's had injuries that have limited and held him out. Not right now. Like I mentioned earlier, we were hopeful that we were going to have good news this week, but we had a setback. But at this point, no. I think Brent and the defensive staff have handled it unbelievably well. There's not a whole lot of moving parts and options out there. I know one of our young players tweeted something out today, and people were buzzing about that, saying is Shane Simmons playing linebacker, because he tweeted out LBU, and there was a fury of retweets and questions and things like that. But Shane Simmons is a 245-pound defensive end on scout team, who's doing a great job. So I wouldn't worry about that. But yeah, there's not a whole lot of other moving parts left for us, to be honest with you. There's a few little wrinkles that we can do, and you'll see them this week. But besides that, there's not a whole lot of other options. And again, you just have to be careful. You keep stealing from one position or one area to help another, then you're going to create problems at that position at some point as well. So, but yeah, I'm really proud of our defense and our defensive coaches and our players and their mentality, next man up. Saeed's been out, for an injury. He will be back this week, so we're excited about having him back. Based on his size and strength, he may play Mike linebacker. Yeah, good. Sometimes I say jokes and you guys don't get it, but yeah, he'll be back this week, which is significant because he's just an older, mature guy. He's also helping us on special teams, because all these linebackers and safeties that we've lost has a major effect for you on special teams. So getting another big body guy like Saeed back who can run, that will help us. That'll help us on offense. The passing game will also help us on special teams. Juwan and Irv are guys that we've been excited about for a couple of years now, since they arrived on campus and since we recruited them. They're both starting to come on into their own. This is really kind of how you'd like for the development to happen. You'd love for young guys that are talented to be behind veterans and getting some reps and getting some experience, so when the time comes, they're ready. And that's what we've been able to do at wide receiver. So that's I think that's ideal. And I think you'll see as the year goes on, Juwan and Irv will continue to get more opportunities as they show that they're able to handle it in practice and game situations. And then the other thing is obviously if we have any any injuries or things like that, you have guys that are developing and preparing for their opportunity when the time comes. So excited about those guys. But yes, Saeed, kind of in a little bit different situation. He's an older guy, he's played a lot of football, and he just hasn't been available for injury reasons. More opportunities. Michael Mennett and Will Fries, I'd mentioned. Both those guys are two guys that we're really excited about that are way ahead of schedule. Physically, they're both right around 300 pounds right now. They're learning every day. They're getting a bunch of reps in practice. Both of them are Fries is up with the travel squad, taking reps at tackle because of our depth there. Mennett is a guy that we just moved down to the scout team. Has been playing tight end on the scout team, which has really helped our defensive ends because now you got a big physical tight end in the blocking game. Dalton, does a nice job, but he's 245 pounds, and some of the tight ends that we're going against, I think the one last week was 285. So Mennett was able to help with that. But yeah, they're two guys that we think have bright futures. Both of those guys we think could play for us this year if we needed them to. But they're probably very similar to Bates. Bates is doing some nice things right now, but I think looking back at it, Bates wasn't ready last year, and we decided to hold him. And that's kind of where Mennett and Fries are right now. They're kind of in the same conversation that Bates was last year.
Hi, Coach.